Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you can see and hear us. Welcome to the London Marathon Events Ride London charity information webinar. We are super excited to be here today. It's been a long time coming. A lot of hard work and determination has gone. Hugh and Kevin, who are here, have probably aged 20 years since they last spoke to you. Or maybe that's just didn't get much sleep last night. But we're really chuffed to be here and look forward to sharing more information about Ride London 2022, which is back, and the charity proposition. So, as I mentioned, I'm joined by Hugh Brasher. Morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Kenneth. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
As you said, tired. Too many late nights, but delighted we got the London Marathon to happen on the 3rd of October, and such a joyous occasion, I think, that it was, and really hope for charities that it has done some great fundraising. And it's been an awfully long 20 months where we've been cancelling more events than we're putting them on, which is not where we want to be.
No, absolutely. And we're also joined by Kevin Nash, who's the route director for Ride London. Morning, Kevin. How are you doing?
Morning, Kenneth. Very well, thank you very much. Yes, it's great to be here and thinking about another major event coming back online and starting the process right here and right now. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a bit of information up front. What we are going to tell you today is confidential. We would ask that you don't publicize what we are going to talk to you about externally. Obviously, we appreciate there will be conversations that will have to happen internally about how your charity will get involved in the event. But as I say, just to state that up front, this is confidential. We will actually doing the public launch of Ride London on the 2nd of November, when you will be able to hear more information and what we are telling to the public. And then general entries will open on the 10th of November. So it looks like we're up to good numbers. We've got about 340 people in attendance. We do have a member of our team, Fiona, who is answering any questions. So if you want to put any questions in there, we'll capture them and come back to them at the end. And also just to state that a recording of this webinar will be sent afterwards. So if you have to drop out for any reason, you will be able to view that again, and we'll send out the link as soon as we can. So, John, if you just want to go on to the next slide, let's jump straight into it. So firstly, we're just going to hear from Hugh, who's going to give a bit of context about Ride London and it coming back. We'll then hear from Kevin in regards to the 2022 Ride London, what the event will look like and what the opportunity is. And then I'll give you an overview of the charity proposition and the opportunity there is for you and your organisations to get involved in the event for 2022 before we tie it up with a Q&A. Expect this will go on for probably 25, 30 minutes. I always say that, and we always end up running over, but we'll see what we can do. And as I say, the recording will be available afterwards. So moving swiftly on, over to Hugh.
Yeah, good morning, and absolutely delighted that Ride London is back. It is new, it is different, and I really hope that you can see with this logo, which is the primary logo of the event, how different it is. And as I think people will be aware previously, this is a Mayor of London event. The Mayor of London owns this event, and London Marathon Events is putting it on. And previously we were part of a group that put it on, the London Surrey Cycling Partnership, which was London Marathon Events and Sweet Spot. And now it is just London Marathon Events. And we're absolutely delighted. We want to inspire people to take up cycling. We want to inspire people to get fit, to get healthy, and we want to inspire them to raise money for you and for great causes. And in terms of cycling and what is going on in London, during the pandemic, an enormous amount of infrastructure was built on the roads of London to facilitate people cycling. And there were some huge increases in cycling numbers. One of the biggest increases was actually women aged 20 to 34. And what we need to do is make cycling more accessible for more people we need to have a clean environment. We need to deal with pollution levels in our cities. We need to deal with the health crisis. We need to deal with people's mental health anxieties. And we know that exercise can do that. And as someone who used to motorbike into work every day, the fact that I now cycle into work every day, and coming this morning, the wind was with me. I was going about 35 miles an hour through Richmond Park downhill. And by the way, that is legal. It just recently got announced that bicycles do not speed in Richmond Park. But honestly, I just felt alive and free, and I would say with the wind in my hair, but since I haven't got any, that it's not really quite true. But it really is. Ride London is about getting people onto two wheels, all ages, all demographics, all abilities, all disabilities. We want to make cycling for everybody. 100-mile challenge. Kevin will talk in more detail about the event, but this really, we want to make this, the easiest way to say it is the London Marathon on two wheels. We want to make it fun. We want to make it exciting. We want to make it for communities and for charities. So you are a major part of this event. The vibrancy, the colour that you give through your cheer points is an enormous part of it. And we do realise that cyclists go past quite quickly. But we are just so excited that we are bringing this event back. As I say, it's a mayoral event, and it is so important for London. It has been the world's greatest festival of cycling. It will be the world's greatest festival of cycling. It is different, as Kevin will tell you, but we really are incredibly excited about it.
Okay, thanks, Hugh. That's great. And yes, I love the idea of you whizzing through Richmond Park, and I look forward to when we do that again between us. No competition whatsoever. Never. So morning everybody, and welcome to this. I pretty much lead on the technical planning and delivery aspects of Ride London. So I have done since 2013, and as you know, the event has grown over those years, and it's just a fantastic spectacle of cycling, the greatest celebration of cycling that I've ever seen. And I've been to a few events in my time, so I'm delighted we can announce that it's coming back. 2019, our last event, a long time ago, over 1,000 days. So we need to, it's given us an opportunity actually to relook at what we're doing. We've been busy in the background renegotiating our contract with TfL. So we've got a 10-year deal now with that. So that's really important for longevity of this. 2020 saw us put on a virtual event, which we will explore in future years as well. But that was really useful in 2020. And 2021, we couldn't do anything, and we put our focus and energies into getting out there, looking at all the stakeholders, the route options, what you could do with the event, and making sure we retain this as the world's greatest festival of cycling, and alongside that, the charity and fundraising opportunity that will undoubtedly create this as the marathon on wheels. Hugh mentioned it, alongside the growth in cycling, and certainly in London, it's been fantastic to see during the pandemic. The roads were a dream for cyclists and a vision for the future potentially. So that's what Ride London is trying to do. It's trying to cover multiple bases, but we know the bicycle is a great vehicle, and not a metaphor, but it's a great vehicle for charities, for fundraising, and for well-being in general. And that's what we're trying to do here. So very pleased to be sat here after such a long duration. And I think, let's pop onto the next slide and get into some of that information. So 3 key things really: new date, new format, new route. So those are the 3 key things. Firstly, the date. We have shifted this quite dramatically. As you might be aware, it was previously late July or early August, sort of summer holiday period. And that was really set from the early days in 2012, 2013 planning. But looking at the calendar, looking at the opportunities, and looking where we want to be in the sporting calendar in total, we've looked to put it, or we are putting it, towards the end of May. So the last Sunday in May is going to be the the event date. It is only one day. Previously, Ride London spanned a weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday. We've condensed that format for multiple reasons, but it actually feels as though it's a more compact event and we can deliver all the items that are listed here on that day. So the format is a family of 3 events, broadly. A Sport Eve, the 100-mile event, which we'll get into in a bit more detail. The Free Cycle, which is that family focused, iconic, closed road event in central London. And then we've opted to back really the women's cycling side of things. We used to run a men's world tour cycling race and a women's world tour cycling race. To the new format, we've opted to promote and inspire, hopefully, a lot more women into cycling through retaining the women's elite race, which now extends to 3 days rather than 1. So that's really a fundamental change for us to push this in this direction. Coming back to the Sport Eve, which is the prime reason why we're here to talk about. And it is, we've retained a 100-mile Sport Eve, a challenge ride. Looking to recruit 25 participants taking part, 25,000, sorry, not 25, that would be a small event, not mass participation, so 25,000 cyclists, again, across a reasonably challenging route of 100 miles. We will be offering shorter distances in due course, and we're working through the detail on that, but the key one for us was to get this 100-mile Sport Eve bedded down. We know, I think most people know as well, it will not be in Surrey, and we'll be announcing that new location on the 2nd of November as we step through some of the final legal processes on that. But that's all looking very good and positive. We are starting and finishing in central London, and that's really key for us to make sure it still retains that iconic status and obviously that experience you just can't get anywhere else. It is quite unique. We've had that before in previous Ride Londons. And I think central London is a great backdrop to start and finish and really, again, celebrate that level of cycling. We're not going to be giving any detail on the actual route today, and the actual final routes will be announced probably early in the new year. But we'll be making further announcements on the locations of the route on the 2nd of November. So, super excited that we can tell you that the 100-mile Sport Eve is coming back Sunday the 29th of May. And in the new format alongside 2 other events. So Kenneth, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Just thinking back over the conversations that I've had with various people who work in fundraising and charities over the last few months, the question that always rises to the top is what's happening with Ride London. So as hopefully you can tell, we are super excited to be back, being able to give you the opportunity to fundraise from Ride London in 2022 and offer you the opportunity to confirm guaranteed entries that you can offer to your supporters and fulfill that demand that we know is out there. So looking back, this is a fantastic opportunity for you. Historically, the event has generated over £800 in average fundraising on Virgin Money Giving. I think in some cases, I know other charities have pushed much beyond that. So it offers a great return on investment on the price of the place. We will be given this as an opportunity to not only re-engage those supporters that have maybe taken part in Ride London in previous years and maybe want to try the new route, but also, as Kevin and Hugh have suggested, there's been a massive growth in people that are taking up cycling over the last 20 months. So we hope there's a new audience out there that will give you as a charity an opportunity to engage with. As Kevin said, the proposition is very similar to what Ride London has been previously. It's a sportive ride, a non-competitive ride, 100 miles, starting and finishing in central London. There will be opportunities for you as an organisation to maybe meet and greet cyclists, post the event like we have in previous years. But we will be announcing more about the locations and about the route, as Kevin said, in the coming weeks. And really, we appreciate that the end of May is not far away. And, we're here talking to you in late October. And this is really a chance for you to be back involved with this event for the first time, for it coming back. And we've also looked to try and build loyalty into the model that what we'll be offering you so that you can use this year to build on for future years. So, John, if you can just go on to the next slide, I'll just talk about what the offering actually is. So we will be launching the charity entry system from tomorrow, which will be an email out to everybody who received the email regarding the webinar. It will be an online form, and your charity will be asked to request how many places you would like. Places will be on a 1 year only basis, which is a slight change from previous years. They will be £189, and this year they are VAT exempt. So when you compare that to the cost of places in previous years, which was 225 plus VAT, hopefully you can see that the value that that offers you and that fantastic opportunity for a return on investment. As I touched on in the previous slide, we want to offer you loyalty for coming into us and supporting the event in this first year. So what we will do is in 2023, when we come out with places for the next round of Ride London, we will be offering multi-year places. These will be for the event of 23, 24 and 25. Now, we will offer you as a minimum a guaranteed amount of places similar to the finishes that you have in 2022. So if you choose to take 100 places this year and you have 90 finishes, we will guarantee that we will offer you 90 places for 2023, 24 and 25. And of course, we'll be in touch with those following the event in 2022. There is a limited capacity for the event this year, and there will be additional capacity built into the model as we go forward. So if this year isn't right for you and you want to wait till next year, there will be 2022. And then just for that assurance, really, I think we've spent a lot of time over the last 20 months, working through cancellations, organizing events, moving dates, dealing with all of that. But we've done all of that with our charity partners in mind and understanding how much of a difficult and tough time the whole sector has faced. So we can say that a full refund will be available on places if the event can't take place for any reason, or we may offer you to push forward to the next event. So the option will be yours if you want to take that refund. So risk-free. We do actually have, if you just move on to the next slide, John, there is a couple of opportunities for advertising that we will be offering on a first come, first served basis. So for those of you that are familiar with maybe how our London Marathon packages have looked or familiar with Ride London from previous years, we will be offering two products. One is a drop-down data, which is on the entry system for Ride London. Your charity name will appear on that, and you will get access to the data of those participants who opt in to hearing from you and are interested in cycling for you. And we'll also have tiered listings or enhanced tiered listings on our website, which again will give you prominent position across the Ride London website once it launches. That will give your charity additional exposure for either those people who have got a place themselves and are maybe interested in looking for a charity to support, or for those participants who maybe didn't get a place and want to find a charity place. So those two options will be available. They will be on the entry form that you will receive tomorrow. So we would say if you're interested in these, it might be worth getting in quite soon. It's on a first come, first served basis. And just the last thing to mention on the advertising, all charities that do purchase places in 2022 will get a charity listing on our website. So we have two areas of our website which are mostly the most popular generally. One is the I need a charity place, or I don't have a place in the event, how can I find a place? And that lists all of the charities with places. And the other is I have a charity place, or I have a place, I would like to support a charity, where can I find more details? So all charities involved with the event will get access to those. So I think that sums up just the event. As I say, we wanted to keep it short and concise. We'll open up the floor to any questions that you may have. And yeah, thank you for listening. So I'm just going to jump on there, give everyone a quick opportunity to ask any questions. Kevin, is there going to be a cycling show this year?
There's actually no cycling show this year, and that's what we've done. And participants will have everything posted out to them that they require for the event. That may change in 2023, but 2022, just getting the important bits done, which is getting everything back on the road and cyclists being able to cycle. Okay,
and probably just worth talking about the general entries, so charities are aware of how that works. Can you just run us through how that's going to look?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a two-stage process for general entries, again, opening on the 10th of November. So we want to obviously get people used to getting back into events. So we've opted to take 10,000 places and make them for direct sale to the general public. They'll be costing £89 per person. And once those 10,000 are sold, we then move on to a ballot process for the rest. And that will close towards the end of January, so that we then have time to market to those people who didn't get into the ballot in February.
Perfect. And Hugh, there's just a couple of questions about rollovers in 23 to 25. There will be rollovers in the event. Can you just talk about that?
Can I just go back to the point Kevin made? I think it's really this, the process on entries is really important for people. So as I say, the general public will be allowed to enter this on first come, first served basis from the 10th of November. And we obviously have well over 100,000 people. It's nearer 250,000 people that have done this event over since the inception in 2013. Then as soon as those 10,000 have been allocated, we go directly into a ballot. So the system will automatically turn over to that. That ballot will then shut on the 20th of January. And riders will then find out, those that have been in the ballot will then find out whether they've got in at the beginning of February, end of January, beginning of February. And charities have until the end of April to fill their places. So as Kevin said, the event is the 29th of May. The consoles for charities will shut the 29th of April. There's a lot of things that we're doing for the first time in 2022 and only for this year. We're not necessarily intending to run first come, first serve for any year other than the first. We know that this is quite a short timescale for this event to be taking place. We have been working incredibly hard. Kevin has been working incredibly hard, and the team here to get the routes. We are focusing initially on the 100-mile event. There will be shorter distances, but whether there'll be places for charities at this stage on a shorter route, we are not sure. I would suggest that you take that there aren't. It's not me saying that there isn't. It's just saying you're better off saying that for 2022. There are no rollovers for the 2022 year. What we want to do is try and encourage charities only to take places that they absolutely believe they can fill. And in being able to fill them, you're then rewarded, so to speak, with a guarantee of those places that you've filled, as has been said before, for multi-year of 2023 to 2025. And you're guaranteed them at that same price. What we're trying to do is give charities some certainty, trying to ensure that you are reasonable in what you predict for the first year. We believe there's a huge pent-up demand. What we are delighted is that the gap between what a standard rider pays and a charity pays is different, is closest that it's ever been. As Kenneth said previously, the event for charities was £225 plus VAT, and for a general rider, I think it ended up at about £80. Now a general rider is £89 and the charities are £189. And that is guaranteed, and charities will be able to then roll those places over for 1 year from 2023 for 2025. As been said, it is a minimum of 3 places for charities to buy, and there is a limit of 250 places as an absolute most. And if we get more, there are 8,000 places available for charities this first year. And if we get more than the number of places that we can, if charities apply for more places, then we will lower the number other than for charities that have applied for 5 places or less. They will get those places. Others could be reduced. Obviously, no one would get reduced below 5. But again, once again, this is to try and ensure that as many charities as possible can get places. This is what we need to do first year. We are on a short time scale. So that's a lot of information. This is being recorded, but I just wanted to try and make sure that people had as much clarity as possible with what we're doing.
Thanks, you. Excuse me. Just a few of the questions just to cover off. I think the first one was, will you be doing the Commiserations magazine again? And how much is it to advertise it in? There is no plan to do the Commiserations magazine. Actually, in future at the moment, as part of our sustainability initiatives, we want to remove or move away from sending out printed paper. So there aren't any plans for that. There may be opportunities in future years to be involved in that process, but not for 2022. Will there be a virtual version or a static version that disabled participants could do? We are a visual impairment charity. Kevin, do you want to take that one?
We certainly have, I think the tandem question came up as well. So we certainly are welcoming tandem entries with Pilot and Stoker, as we have done in previous years. In terms of a virtual event or a static event, we haven't planned for that yet. We do have obviously experience in doing that from 2020, but we certainly haven't planned to do a virtual event at this moment in time.
Cool, thank you. And a question just about the route. Will the course be closed roads? Closed roads,
traffic free, as in previous years. Yep.
Brilliant, thank you. Just covering off a couple more of these questions. I think Hugh's covered this one. So yeah, minimum amount of 3 places that a charity can apply for, maximum of 250 places.
There's another one here, Kenneth, about when will charities find out if they have places? So charities will be sent all the details tomorrow, and you have 13 days to apply. So it is Thursday, the 4th of November is the closing date, and you will find out on Friday, the 5th of November, how many places you've got. And as we said before, then the places, the general places go on sale on the 10th of November. So you know how many places you've got before they've gone on general sale.
Yeah, and just to confirm, so that email will be sent to everybody on this webinar and to our charity partners tomorrow. So you'll receive that with the link. It will be an online form to complete to apply for your places, and fairly straightforward. There's a question just regarding, is there a preferred fundraising site to use now Virgin Money Giving won't be active? Hugh, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, we're working on that at the moment. So across all of London Marathon events, we are talking to various fundraising platforms at the moment. We hope to be able to make an announcement on that by the end of November. The actual charity consoles for charities to fill their places is due to be open just before Christmas. So an announcement would be before then.
A few questions just on the cost of the advertising packages. So they were in the slides. I think it's 2,995 for the drop down and for the tiered listing. So the details of those will be on the form that you can complete from tomorrow. Question for you, probably Kevin. Can hand cyclists take part?
Absolutely, yes. And that's been part of our mission, is to make sure that the course is suitable for hand cyclists at the full distance. Whereas previously in Surrey, it was it was difficult to accommodate a hand cyclist. But yes, fully inclusive this time around.
Perfect, thank you. And just looking through so question from Lizzie, I can just see on here, when would we need to book and pay for the places? So Lizzie, as we've touched on, the charity ballot will be open from tomorrow till the 4th of November. It's likely that we will then invoice you in late November. for payment before the end of the year when the consoles will be available. So that is the plan on that side.
And going back to charities, this is a charity ballot for places. It is not linked at all to the general places that open on the 10th of November. The charity system will be shut on the 4th of November, and the place is confirmed on the 5th of November.
So question there, just if a charity cuts places confirmed on the 5th of November, can they advertise them immediately?
Effectively, yes, I would say, because the announcement is the 2nd of November. Once we've made the announcement of the event, and please, it is scheduled for the 2nd of November. Things do happen in this world that means that things get delayed. Once we've made the general announcement, yes, people can, charities can. Just a quick question. Someone's a bit of a bizarre one asking about sustainability. The plastic bags, the plastic bags in the London Marathon were made of sugarcane, not plastic. So just in terms of sustainability, they were made of sugarcane, not plastic.
Cool. Looks like quite a few of these questions have been covered. There's a few questions just, again, Hugh, I know you've already covered it, about why the charity places are 189 and the general public places are 89. Would you mind just going over that again?
Yeah, so again, what we're trying to do is give some pricing that is competitive, some guarantees of charities. Most people in the event will be entering a ballot, whether they get in or whether they don't. Effectively, in terms of charities, also what we're doing is looking ahead for 2023 to 2025. So a guarantee of knowing what you're doing going forward, no price increases going forward, and the ability to roll over. If you think in the London Marathon, the general places in the London Marathon are £49. The Golden Bond places in the London Marathon are £370. That difference is £321. The difference here is 100.
Thank you. And look, I think, just to reiterate, this investment needs to be right for you and your organization. We ask you to consider that before you select the amount of places. We want to help you get the amount of places you buy filled and get those riders to the start line. And a lot of our messaging after the ballot will be announced will be about helping charities to fill any places that are remaining. So you will see a lot from us around that after the general entry ballot is announced.
And can also add, in terms of that, Kenneth, it's just really, the average raise per charity for these places was £800 in 2019. So that is an ROI of over 4 to 1. We really hope that will continue, that ROI, but this is about whether you consider this is right for you. You do not have to apply for places for 2021. It does not preclude you from getting places in 23 to 25. But if you have a cycling database, if you have people that are looking to raise money, that have taken up cycling, there is a huge market potentially there. This is an event that's had 7 years of great success, 7 years of great success for charities, where I think it's over £120 million was raised. Over 80, I can't remember, maybe it was 84 million was raised for good causes previously. It is all about how we can build this event in exactly the same way that we've built the London Marathon. The fact that we have a 10-year contract that Kenneth mentioned before is really important for us, and I hope really important for you. Once again, just to go over the timetable, charities will know they have places before the public can get places. So you will be able to apply from places from tomorrow. We will send you the details and you'll be able to apply from tomorrow. You don't have to, because nothing will happen until we then have all the places in, which have to be in by 1700 on Thursday, the 4th of February. The route gets announced on the 2nd. I said February there, sorry. Thursday, the 4th of November. The route gets announced on the 2nd of November. So if for some reason, I mean, you know, Kevin says it starts and finishes in the centre of London. It's obviously going to go out to one of the counties that surrounds London, and you all know it's not going to be Surrey. We can't tell you which county it's going to be, but you will find out on the 2nd. So if you decide that you don't like that county for whatever reason, and I really hope we don't have some anti-countyists for certain areas, but whatever, it might actually then be more interesting for some charities in that county. And we absolutely understand that. So that announcement is on the 2nd. You can then choose whether you're applying or not. They must be in by 1700 on the 4th, and you will find out on the 5th if you have those places. The public can only start applying from the 10th of November. Once those first 10,000 places are filled, it goes to a ballot. That ballot will shut on the 20th of January. Riders will find out the end of January and early February. The London Marathon people will find out just after that. So they will find out in February. The charity consoles will shut 1 month before the event on the 29th of April.
Thanks, Hugh. I think we've probably covered most of the questions that are there. I'm just having a look if there's anything else.
Yeah, there's no benefit on a first come first served basis. Just because you apply, if someone applied tomorrow when they get the console, it doesn't make any difference as to whether they apply on the 3rd of November or the 4th of November. The reason there is no VAT is that this event is organised by London Marathon Events, which is the trading arm of a charity. And therefore, for that reason, there is no VAT on a general entry for London Marathon. There is VAT on ballot entries for the London Marathon because we add extra services on. But there is no VAT, and we believe that's a benefit for most charities. You do whatever places that you have been guaranteed, those are the places that you pay for. What you fill, you're guaranteed if you want those same places in future years. And what we're trying to do here is balance this so that we're trying to incentivize people, charities, just to apply for the places that they believe they can fill. So we hope we've done this right. We have spent an awful lot of time thinking about it. Things are never right for everybody, but we try and get them right holistically for the industry. And this is looking long term in how we can build this event, increase the amount of charities that can benefit from the event, and increase the ROI on the places.
Thanks, Hugh. So I know there's quite a lot of information, as we've said, in this session. We will be sending out an email following this with a recording of this session, so you can re-watch it back. We will also confirm the dates in that email as well. So we'll get that included so you have the familiarity with what the dates and what the next few weeks and the schedule looks like. Yeah. So just conscious of time, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for attending and for engaging throughout. We're really excited, as hopefully you've taken from today, to have the event back. We think there is lots of demand out there for people to partake and get back on their bikes and cycle that 100-mile closed road loop somewhere that we can't reveal at the moment. But all will become clear in the next few days. So, Kevin or Hugh, any final words?
just to say thank you for everyone for listening and chipping in those questions. I think it's great.
Perfect. All right, we'll wrap it up
Thank
there.
you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Speak to you soon.